Alright, fire up your heart, children, God, and that's you. And me. I'll be. Alright, so I was trying to sit on this for a while. But now it's been like a month or more. And I think it's just for those ladies or men out there that do any sort of... I don't like to get wrapped up in numbers and stuff. There are some times that I have had... I believe I have been led to numbers in the sense of certain situations in it, and God, it was always spot on. I'm getting 4 and 5, unfortunately, because of all the interferences. So like 4 or 5, and you're like, wow, that really helps, because it might be for someone else to differentiate or decipher or interpret. Like that maybe God will take someone else to the next level, because that's kind of what I'm hoping for here, because it's been about a month. And I don't know if I already mentioned it. I have erased other videos, so I'm interfering with this message myself personally. And then I was like, was I supposed to look at 1945, like exactly what was going on, or was that the close up of one of the wars? I don't have all my dates. I don't have things like that memorized. So, or is it 4 or 5 weeks? Is it 4 or 5 months? That would land us in September, October. That would have been the start of this disaster in the Middle East, which is really ongoing. But this one was a little more disturbing on so many. Or is it 4 or 5 years? Then I was getting this thing, but I believe this is where I'm confusing it, or I'm interfering with it. Is 4 or 5 months. Maybe we personally will be moved or not, because we really like the property. We've brought a lot back to life here in the sense of the external grounds, things like that. We've done some repairs, minute and added things, but not, that's not really what it's about. So I was getting 4 or 5 months, something's closing, or if things don't improve, more people don't return to God in 4 or 5 months, then it's 4 or 5 years of absolute, just crumble, collapse. All of the corruption has to be cleared out. Be it they're going to voluntarily resign, there's going to leave a large gap. But the thing is that the gap was already there because they were all running things horribly wrong. So I know when people say, well, who's going to lead what? Well, no one, who's leading what anyways? And look, I am not 100% on board with this operation going on. This was the one thing I was highly concerned of, not only the first time Trump was in, but this time. And it's just, it's getting too bizarro, and I actually was getting flashes of bunches of us in those darn suits in work camps being told that we have to be reconformed to some other mentality. I was deep in on the 9/11, and I'm not going to get into where I got my information and all of that anymore. I already did that, and it wasn't made up stuff, and it wasn't a fucking YouTube station, and I had no business getting that material, but I did, and I believe it was God sent, and that's my business between me and the Lord, and where I got the information, because it was bizarrely given to me in Northern California, as in about around 2005, and I did anonymously pass them out. Chances are I passed it out to the wrong people. So, and it was about the cover-ups to implement full surveillance in regards to the Patriot Act and surrounding events prior, during, and after 9/11. And then I'm getting, if people still are not getting back to the Lord, 4 or 5 years, it's either final judgment or the cleanup process of the collapse. But I was seeing suits. They've already dragged people off that are citizens, even some college students. There's so much going on behind the scenes that we're not going to know about, just like when all the illegals came in and started raping and pillaging, is the illegal, yes, coming here illegally, is I did see people in suits that shouldn't be in suits with their trays, and the only reason they were in the work camps is because they knew that both regimes that have been destroying this country for far too long and far too many decades, and they're going to stick them all in there, and or something like that too, and just a lot of disappearing acts. And I'm going to go, but I get a 4 or 5, maybe someone else has something on that. Some of the ladies I know, but I don't even know if they can deal with me, is they do concordance and stuff, and they get inspired and they get a scripture and it lines up with events sometimes. Okay.